Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Tania Martinez from Remax Real Estate Results. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a few things that you guys can do when you guys start looking into buying a home. I'm going to be talking about a loan officer, personal finance, and what you guys can actually do whenever you guys start looking at a house, and a few things to watch for in your new home. But first, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. My goal is to reach 20,000 subscribers this year, so I'm super excited for you guys to follow along on this journey with me, and thank you so much for subscribing. Okay, so the very first thing I usually tell my clients to do is to go talk to a loan officer. A loan officer is going to be able to tell you guys how much you guys need for a down payment for your closing cost, how much you guys can afford, and just with that information you guys can get a pretty good idea of the house that you guys are going to be buying in the future. And if you do not qualify, do not worry, because a loan officer will usually tell you exactly what you need to do to be able to qualify for that house, whether it's saving more money, whether it's figuring out how to increase your credit score. They will tell you all those things so that way you don't have to worry about it and you already know exactly what steps you need to take. So now let's get to the personal finance part of it. So many people have no idea what to expect when they're looking at buying a home. So the first thing I usually tell my clients is to make sure that you guys are looking at the house payment. The house payment is super important because you don't want to be house poor, meaning that the monthly payment is more than 35% of your take-home pay after taxes. This is very important. Many people just go in looking at the price of the house without really taking in factor in the monthly payment, and sometimes because they can qualify for a house up to $250 doesn't necessarily mean that they should get that house, because it doesn't fit their budget, their lifestyle, and the payment might be too big. And that's why you see many people foreclosing. And we had the situation go on a lot in 2008 whenever we had the housing crisis. So we want to make sure that our payment stays below at least 35. 25% would be a good number, but I know with house prices the way that they are right now, which is pretty high, it's good to try to stay under that 35% number. And a good rule of thumb is to have about $6,000 to $10,000 saved in your savings account, because you're going to need to pull out money for the down payment, for closing cost, for moving expenses, and all those little expenses in between that tend to add up. So make sure that you guys have a good savings to where you guys don't have to go into more debt to be able to afford your lifestyle during the time that you're moving, or even during the time that you're buying a house, because you don't want to take out new lines of credit, because that can really affect your chances of being able to get into that house. And also on that note, make sure that you're not going out and buying new cars, getting new personal loans for furniture or things like that. All that stuff can wait until after you close. So speaking as a realtor, and I'm sure your lender would also appreciate this, make sure you do not take out any new lines of credit. Like I said, no cars, no furniture, no nothing until you get your house closed on, because you don't want to lose out on that great deal. So make sure you don't do it. Okay, so now you have your pre-approval, know which lender you're working with, know your realtor, hopefully it's me, but if you're not in the area, no biggie. And now you're ready to look at houses. So a few things to watch out for whenever you start looking at houses. The biggest one is going to be water intrusion or any water damage on the property. Make sure you're looking under cabinets, under the sinks, pretty big one, in the bathroom. If you guys see any weird spots on the ceiling, make sure to point those out to your realtor. Those usually mean that there was a leak on the roof. It might be an old leak, it might be a new one. Those are some things to watch out for. Another thing to look at is how clean the home is. If you guys are seeing a messy home, that could be an indicator that they don't actually take care of the home, and they don't do those yearly maintenance checkups on things like the HVAC unit or the AC unit or different things like that. If the home is clean, sometimes a good indicator is looking at their furniture to see how well they take care of that. Usually that will also tell you how well they take care of their house. In a perfect world, we hope that everyone does yearly checkups and different things like that, but you also do need to double check that, and sometimes seeing how clean a home is can be a really good indicator, but of course be sure to ask a realtor, to ask the seller's agent to see how often that is done. Another thing is to look at the floor. In Arkansas we have a lot of crawl spaces, so that just means that there's like an extra space between the bottom and the actual floor, so you want to make sure that that's not squeaking too much or doesn't sink in. And if you know that the house is built on a concrete slab, make sure that there isn't any cracks bigger than, I would say, like your pinky finger. If there's a crack bigger than that, there might be issues with the foundation, so you want to be careful with that. And of course, make sure to check the condition and age of the HVAC unit, the AC unit, the water heater, any of those big units that are going to be used a lot throughout the house. Even the stove and the microwave, you want to look at all that stuff to make sure that they're all in good condition. And obviously, if the house has been lived in, not everything will be perfect, so make sure you also take that into consideration. I have a lot of home buyers that expect houses to be perfect even though they've been lived in, and you know, we're all human, we all make messes, there's nothing we can do about it. So realize that's one of those things that you're gonna have to take into consideration when you're looking at older used homes. Okay, so now let's say that you have the home under contract. I do have a separate video on that, and you guys can look at the 8 home buying steps, which I'm going to make sure to link up here. So now that you have the home under contract, make sure to do a home inspection. A lot of people say it's not necessary. Obviously I'm a realtor, I have to recommend home inspections, but even on my own personal homes, I get home inspections. I really value them. They tell me exactly what's wrong with the house and what needs to be fixed. They also tell me what is good about the house, what doesn't need to be fixed, and what are things that I don't have to worry about for a while. So I think it's very important to get a home inspection, so that way you don't walk into a house blind and you don't get caught by surprise when something does break. And to be honest, the home inspection is only $350 in our area, and that $350 is, you know, very little money compared to the peace of mind that I'm going to be having once I close on the home and actually get to live in the house. So that's why I always recommend a home inspection, even if the home is new. So make sure that you're getting that home inspection, because you never know, during the construction process they could have forgotten something, or some heavy wind could have come through and, you know, blown off a few shingles. I don't know what else to say to convince you to get a home inspection, but honestly, I personally recommend it. Okay y'all, so I hope you liked this video. Please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I am super excited to reach that goal of 20K this year, so please make sure to follow along. And once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!